I'm Cam with Cen-Pe-Co.
His phone's ringing.
We have Bud Johnson with Fayette County Road Maintenance. Talk a little bit about the DieselMax that we got you guys on, and if you want to tell a little bit about it, that'd be awesome.
We can talk about that in a pretty positive way. Most of these things, as Cam has said before, we always thought it was kind of a snake oil, and as we grew up, these products to us never really worked. And Cam approached us and trying this a couple different times, and quite a believer in it. And with that, we moved into, after a little bit of convincing, trying it in one location, which was what really was a consistent location, because it's our crusher, the rock quarry. So we tried that, just gallons at a time, or buying it a case at a time. We weren't buying barrels or anything at that point. So after that, we moved to running this stuff and kind of made a commitment to try it for at least 6 months, minimum 6 months. And just like I said, the one location, the one crusher, very consistent, doing it for our 10 hours a day. And so we're running that loader, anything at the quarry, we're running for that 10 hours a day. If it be the loaders, if it be the crusher, whatever it is, so we could really monitor this thing. So as we were doing that, we saw instant results in the fuel consumption, how much lower it was. But as we've seen instant results, they went down consistently more and more and more and more the more we ran through it. So we could see improvement through the whole time. The example I can give you for sure being the crusher, we're using about 225, 230 gallons of fuel per day. And the longer we were using this, as of right now, the same day, the same 10-hour day, and the same weather conditions, we're right about 195 gallons. So that's been a great thing for us. On top of that, I guess what we have seen with this is our EGR system on that thing was always a nuisance. We're putting, every 6 months, putting 2 EGRs on it constantly, and we just got tired of it. And so we're kind of willing to try something different anyway. So we did find with that, but it's been now 18, 24 months, whatever it's been. A couple of years now, and we don't put EGR valves on anymore. That engine don't have a particulate filter, and so, but the EGR valves it does have, and we just plain seen that we don't have to put them on anymore, but we're using that much less fuel.
Have you had much problems with injectors or anything like that?
The injectors, when we started with this, it was the used injectors. The injectors that were in there currently when we tried it, or when we tried using the Cen-Pe-Co here. But now we have put them in. That would have been our second set that we put in, but it was 1,500 hours longer than what we had. So I'm really curious to see how long this set runs now, because it's starting its life with the Cen-Pe-Co. That the other ones they didn't start their life with. So to me, you already got 1,500 more hours out of them. But reality is, it should. I mean, you're burning that much less fuel, so they should be working that much less too. But just a backstory on that crusher engine. It's a 13.5 liter John Deere engine. That's pretty typical. I mean, everybody, the John Deere dealer will tell you, if you get 5,000-6,000 hours out of them, you're doing pretty good. Well, we were up to 11,000 with this thing when our oil samples told us we were starting to get some antifreeze in that. So part of this story being told with this additive also, we took it down to the local John Deere dealer, and the guy that has rebuilt plenty of them out of combines and choppers and whatever, he's normally, you roll this engine over and you got to beat the pistons out of this thing. He said he rolled this thing over and all the pistons want to come out of it. They were free, the rings were free. It was ready to come apart. So in a positive way, not in a bad way. Not come apart in a bad way. So they kind of asked what we were doing, what we were using. I know John Deere's got its own product, but they were not comparing this to this at all. So I think it's been a very, very great thing for us. So with that, I mean, we put our whole county on it now. All of our outline shops, we got 7 outline shops. They got 1,000 to 1,500 to 4,000 gallon tanks in them. So we put all of them on it. One of the big reasons we did that also was, what we found was, when we were testing this stuff out at the quarry, interesting enough, every year we had our tanks cleaned from an outfit in Grimes, Iowa. They would come up and they would put, or we would put a microbial cleaner in our tanks, then have our local guy go around and fill all of our tanks, do that on a Friday, and the guy from Grimes would come up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was, and then he would clean all of our tanks for us and change the filters and whatever. We did that annually. That cost us the last time right at $7,000 to have our tanks cleaned. So what we found was when we used this at the quarry, he thought we forgot to put, the guy come up and clean the tanks, he thought we forgot to put the cleaner in the tank. But we put the cleaner in the tank, we're 100% sure of it. And he said there's nothing in the tank. So we quit, and we've done that now for 2 years or whatever it's been, we haven't had any trouble. But we quit having our tanks cleaned. So we quit spending the $7,000. And now we haven't had any trouble with any algae, anything in any of the tanks throughout the whole county. So that was another impressive thing on it. So what my comparison was, just to be upfront with everybody, my comparison is it cost us $7,000 to clean our tanks, and it cost us to treat every bit of fuel that we use for the county. It cost us $7,000 in this DieselMax product.
Yeah.
So that part was a break even, 100%. Yeah, cost to cost there. So anything else we get out of this with savings, be it power, be it injectors, be it EGR, or whatever it is, that's all just on top of it.
I didn't even advertise or tell you about the specifics of the keeping the tanks clean. That was you told me that.
Yeah, that was not something you brought up, and
it's like so I wasn't blowing smoke up your skirt or nothing.
No,
was,
not at all.
It was kind of a legit, It's like, and the product speaks for itself. Once you use it, I think if you're looking at your numbers, you'll keep using it. So
yeah, it's a surprising thing, and like when Cam and I first talked about it, it was one of them things that it's just a hard time to use a product that you don't know what it's going to do. But we tested it out in just a small kind of a time span there, about 6 months in our crusher, just to see what it would do in a very consistent environment, and we were really convinced with it. Plus, we don't have to clean our tanks, so like I said, anything we get out of it is just a complete bonus for us. So I couldn't say anything better about it. I don't know how you would, So the loader that they're running down to the quarry, kind of our test spot was, and the quarry the loader don't use near as much fuel as the crusher does, but you were saving about 9 gallons a day in that. I mean, the crusher definitely was using more fuel anyway, but you were using over 235 or whatever it was gallons per day in that thing, 225, 235, and dropped to 195. So otherwise, I mean, they were having to shut the thing partway down anyway to refuel it, because it's got a 200-gallon fuel tank on it. So they were having to refuel it partway, 3 o'clock or whatever it was. They're putting more fuel in it, so they don't have to do that now either.
Cool. Time savings as well.
Yeah, little time savings, and so not easily impressed, but this has impressed me, and it's something we have put forward to some other people too that have spoken positively about it too. So can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you giving me the chance to let you try it, and then now it's hopefully we're lifelong users, or you guys are lifelong users of it now.
Yeah. No, that's very, very convincing product. I couldn't say enough. And is this a paid advertisement?
It might be.
It could be. We could just once we stop recording.
Yeah. So no, I don't know what else I could really say about it. And the real bonus there was probably the tank cleaning part of it that really got me. And like Cam said, he never mentioned that. We kind of found that out totally on our own. But it made it a super easy choice once we were doing that. Didn't have to clean tanks, and the price was the same for our tank cleaning and that. So everything else we got off it, our fuel savings and everything, just complete bonus.
Yeah, and that's one thing when I was trying to pitch it to you, that we've never, as far as I know, we being Cen-Pe-Co, have never advertised it keeps your tanks, your storage tanks cleaner.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I suppose you guys would have to prove that to yourself to prove it to everybody else. But it's
typically
totally,
the fuel savings pays for it.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple times over. So
yeah.
but
Yeah.
'cause I think right now it's costs what 4.8 cents to treat a gallon of fuel on this DieselMax. So, if you're paying $3 for diesel, it's costing you $3.04 to burn it, and you're saving 5 to 12% fuel economy. So it pays for itself relatively quick. So
Yeah. Not only that, you're not waiting for the end of the year to have I just thought of that, having the sludge in your tank for the last quarter of the year anyway, and then, if you're doing filters and downtime and whatever, but no, I just can't say enough good about the product
that's
at all.
awesome.
Yeah, that thing goes through the fuel. That thing's a big motor up there running 2,100 RPM, so it's drinking fuel. So if we can save some fuel, and really impressed me, we right away with them EGR valves, because those things, that was a proven thing right away. Every 6 months it's got 2 of them on it, and we were putting them on every 6 months. But that was a quick result there. And the fuel economy just better and better and better as we kept running it up to a certain point. The other thing we did find, we kept trying to improve it a little more by adding more additive. That didn't do any good. We had it up to about 1.5 gallons per 1,000, and that didn't do it. Now we stick with the 1 gallon per 1,000 gallons of fuel, and that's the ratio it needs.
Kudos to our engineer Blaine. I mean, he's got everything together. It's like, here's what you need to do. Listen to him, and it gets golden. So
yeah. The thing I think would be maybe hard, if I had to say something negative, the thing that's going to be hard to implement for some people would be the consistency of using it. If you're doing an over the road thing or whatever, getting drivers to put it in their tank. That'd be the hard part.
That's I think the struggle that some of the over the road truckers have. That have more than one truck. It's to make sure you can trust your guy to put it in. And
different if you're on a job site with a tank wagon.
Yeah, like you got a nice test.
It was an ideal test location with the one job, the one the one machine or the 2 machines, and it was ideal, and it just proves that it works. So.
Yeah, it did. No, it completely proved itself. That would be the only downfall if you were actually a trucking industry, but if these guys see what it's doing in their own trucks, I don't know why they wouldn't run it.
Yeah, it's up to the sales force now to get it out there and whatever. So if we can get them to try it, they'll use it.
Yeah, I could see it being a no-brainer for these bigger contractors, and when they got their tank wagons, on the job site there, everybody's pulling out of that, put it in there, hands down.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Bud.
Yeah.
I guess we'll visit again about some other stuff, hopefully.